Right now at 11, block after block of broken glass.
It's a shame. It really is.
Dozens of drivers now facing hefty repair bills for what seems to be a senseless act. Also tonight, a podcaster murdered in her home by a stalker she tried to stop.
In one of the reports, she reported over 100 contacts in a single day.
Why police say they could not catch him despite all the warnings. Then later, pomp and psilocybin as graduation day for licensed guides gets us one step closer to the rollout of magic mushrooms. And we begin tonight with a case of mass vandalism in Southeast Portland. Thanks for joining us. I'm David Molko. That is where someone or more than one person smashed one car window after another, after another, after another. I mean, you kind of get the picture here, right? The damage centers on Southeast 62nd and Foster, but stretches into the surrounding blocks with several more victims all over the neighborhood. Catherine Cook is in the newsroom tonight. Catherine, any idea how many neighbors were impacted here?
David, so many cars were hit. The police tell us they don't know the full scope of the damage yet. Some victims we talked with had more than one car with a broken window. And tonight, the cleanup continues.
Vacuuming glass from grass. A huge pain in the absolute worst moment.
Just moved in, fresh to the neighborhood.
That Jake Kelly could have imagined.
The driver's side front window was bashed in.
Jake and his girlfriend discovered the damage Friday morning, along with dozens of other broken car windows.
So I come out, broken. Unbelievable.
Manuel Bernal made his feelings clear on the tarp covering his broken window, calling the vandals haters, cowards, and lazy.
Just people that are just ignorant. There's no respect for other people's property.
Most of the damage is scattered along Southeast 62nd on both sides of Foster and several other surrounding streets. Jake and his girlfriend had been excited to move here from California.
We had kind of been tipped off about, car jackings or car theft, vandalism kind of being on the rise in the PNW, but, didn't want to lean too much into that narrative, didn't want to judge.
Across the street,
I was like, oh man.
Just after 5 a.m., Corrine Fritz found the window of one of her cars busted in. Nothing stolen, but lots of damage. She had to miss work to get it fixed.
It's awful. I mean, it feels like the vandalism on our street is getting worse and worse out here.
And we don't know the full scope of the problem here.
Sergeant Kevin Allen says they've taken multiple reports and expect many more. They're also asking for anyone with security video of anything suspicious in the area.
I would appreciate it if people would take the time to make that police report on our website, because oftentimes what happens is we can go back and connect cases.
People have to be held accountable for their actions.
As for Jake, he's holding out hope for his new city.
If something like this happens again, though, I definitely think we're going to be like, hey, Mom, you got a place to stay.
Maybe day 3 in Portland will be better.
As if moving weren't hard enough. Police tell me you cannot attach video to an online report, but you can make a note that you have some to share and ask an officer to contact you. You can also email it to crimetips@police.portlandoregon.gov. We'll share that email address again on kgw.com. David?
Not a great first impression. Hoping for a better tomorrow there for Jake. Thank you, Catherine. Well, new tonight, police have arrested a man they say attacked a woman at a Gresham Park. Police say the woman fought off her attacker back on January 19th at Pat Pfeiffer Park and then ran away. Thanks to a nearby surveillance camera, detectives say they were able to identify the suspect. So they arrested 22-year-old Angel Mendez Jr. on Thursday. He now faces sex abuse, public indecency, and harassment charges. So a double murder now outside Seattle, one that is making national headlines tonight after police say a podcaster and her husband were killed by a stalker.
This is every victim, every detective, every police chief's worst nightmare.
Well, that was the police chief in Redmond, Washington. The sentiment you are hearing from him because the victim in this case, he said, did everything right to try and keep this man away. Zore Sadeghi and her husband were found dead in their home around 2 this morning. Investigators say the shooter also took his own life. Now, Sadeghi had filed for a temporary protection order against the suspect. The two had reportedly met on a social app, and he reportedly listened to her podcast. Police say he started calling her repeatedly and threatened to harm himself if she did not pick up. At one point, she reported to police he tried contacting more than 100 times in a single day. Police say they were working to serve that protection order, but because the suspect was a long-haul truck driver, they had trouble tracking him down. A court hearing for that protection order was scheduled for 1 week from tomorrow. A man who shot and wounded 2 sheriff's deputies, one of them seriously, faces 45 years in prison. A Washington County judge sentenced 60-year-old Dante Halling to the maximum today after Halling pleaded guilty to 6 counts of attempted murder. Now, in 2019, Halling shot the deputies at Hag Lake as they responded to reports he was stealing from a home. One of those deputies, Jeremy Braun, was shot in the chest and neck, puncturing arteries and causing 2 strokes. He tried to return to duty 18 months after the shooting, but said he could not stay on the force due to persistent pain that he says continues to this very day.
I had to relearn to swallow, relearn how to drink, relearn how to eat, relearn how to tie my shoes, and relearn how to walk. These were skills I had mastered in the first 18 months of life. At 43, I had to relearn these skills because Dante had tried to murder me. I would also tell you this, I forgive you.
Some powerful words there. Halling apologized in court for his actions. He told the deputies he feels great remorse. Tonight, family and colleagues remembering a pioneer Washington legislator. Jim Moeller died yesterday at the age of 67. As one of the first openly gay lawmakers in Washington, he paved the way for future generations to live and lead with less fear of discrimination. Now, Moeller, a Democrat, served in the Washington House from 2003 to 2017, representing Vancouver. Before that, he was on the Vancouver City Council. He fought for domestic partnership rights for city workers and same-sex marriage as a legislator. Known as a fierce advocate who could calm an overheated debate with a well-timed joke, colleagues says he got things done, and he made lots of friends along the way.
He was a really special person, and he was a real important part of our community for a really long time.
He still laughed and he still smiled and he still participated in people who came to visit him. But he loved having company. You know, he just loved being with people. It was who he was.
Well, that is Moeller's sister, as she described her brother's last few years. She said he had a disease that combines symptoms of Parkinson's and ALS. It took his speaking voice, but not his attitude, she says, and his love of people. And we thank him for all his years of service.